Vibes.
Yeah.
I love building a team on vibes.
Taking the word from Paul, man, in the show. That's where they're getting it from.
Gotta get in mode.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
You like the vibes?
I don't know if I like these vibes.
Key,
Yeah.
would Rodgers make the Giants competitive in the NFC East?
Competitive in the NFC East. Okay, so does that mean close games?
500.
No, no, because look, number one, they're gonna finish third or fourth. Philly, Washington, and they're gonna battle between Dallas and the Giants for that third, fourth spot.
Well, they were 3 and 14 last year.
Yeah, they were 3 and 14 last year.
So
that was a year ago.
Let's say that's not competitive.
Okay.
Eight wins will be competitive.
Yeah, I give them that 8-9 win sort of positioning, fighting with Dallas for that third, fourth spot, plus or minus.
So then your answer is kind of yes.
It's hard to say, Joy. It's hard to say though. When you've been on a team that was 1 and 15 before, and then you blink, and you was in the AFC Championship game. So I've seen Washington a year ago. Ron Rivera was fired, and then all of a sudden in comes Dan Quinn, and they're in the NFC Championship game. So it's always hard to just say that.
Yeah, but it wasn't just Dan.
Yeah.
No, I understand.
That was after major changes. That was like new coach, new quarterback.
They put some stuff together.
Dan Daniels.
They put it together.
You know.
Can the Giants put it together enough to be competitive within the division? I don't think so. I don't think they can. I really don't. Aaron Rodgers, 4-time MVP, all that's cool. But if I'm watching you from across the river for the last 2 years, whether you played with an Achilles, didn't play with your Achilles, and then you came back, when you didn't play, you were still kind of making a mockery of the situation. You coming out there fake throwing, you back there telling everybody, I'm coming back, get ready, all of those, and that didn't happen. And then this year, it just was a complete disaster. If I'm the New York Giants in that organization, I've seen this movie before. I don't want to take that on. I just don't. And this is one of the reasons they're meeting with Russell Wilson here in the next day or so. Russell Wilson will be going into New York, trying to figure it out with them. So I don't necessarily know if this is the fit for him at all. I really don't.
And there's so many reasons. I know this all the way down. No. Just for so many reasons. First of all, just to answer the question, no, they do not. He does not make them a contender. They were 3 and 14, as you said. 28th in passing, 23 in rushing, 30th in total yards last year. The Giants were. So he couldn't lift the Jets up to get them in contention. And when you talk about teams that were ready to be lifted to that next level, the Jets, when he got there, were in a way better place than the Giants are right now.
I was thinking. Yep.
What are we talking about? Yep. And it's the same city. Here's what I would be concerned about. Here's what I would be concerned about in bringing him back to New York. Yeah, if he called New York, or even if New York called, I would be worried about it if I'm the Giants, because I would say to myself, I know we're not contenders. And now, is he coming back to give us what he has on the football field, or is he coming back to try to prove a point to all these media dudes that he's been going back and forth with the last couple years? If I'm the Giants, I can't be around for your battling with this media stuff. That's what I'm saying. And why would Aaron Rodgers, the Giants are so far away, want to take his talents to New York over a place like Pittsburgh? So, no, I'm not bringing him, because I see the problems that are coming with it.
Yeah, me too. I'm thinking about this. I don't want to see Rodgers' name get smeared or his legacy get tainted any more than it already has with his tenure with the Jets. Because when you go back to New York and you have to deal with that New York media and things go left, it's going to be the same thing all over again. And I hate to see a guy who's had such a Hall of Fame career, one of the all-time great careers, go through that at the end. You know, usually the guys on his level, they go out quietly or they go out winning and on a positive note for the most part. And I don't want to see that with Rodgers. Like, I'd rather him go somewhere where it ain't the media attention, and if he decides to play, just a better situation. It's just, I want him to keep his name to where when he's done, we're not over here saying, look what he did in New York.
Paul bring it up now.
You know what I'm saying?
Because there's a great benefit to striving and doing great things in New York. Then there's a great deficit to doing it real ugly in New York.
I don't want this to be the lasting look on such a great career.
Right. That's an interesting point.
Man, he would be doubling down.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want that for him.
But that's why I say if it goes back, it's got to be part of the fight. I'm going to show you guys I can do this in New York. And that's the scary part.
They have the worst roster in that division.
Right.
He'd be the worst quarterback in that division by far.
Jeez.
He wasn't able to elevate the Jets. I think the coach is better than what he had before. But no, he's not going to make that team competitive. No. I mean, he's a human body that plays the quarterback position, but like, what? I mean, what is he? What is he bringing to the Giants? Like, they need a body. They need someone. They need a person.
Broke down.
Okay, that plays that position. But what?
He got him sometime passing the ball, and now she got him.
I mean, at best, you're battling for third in that division.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You fight for that 3-4 spot, trying to stay out of the 4th spot.
At best, and I think that's a stretch.
Yeah, okay. At least put that in there.
Man,
stop all the dart shooting at the Cowboys. That's all y'all are doing.
He's automatically the worst quarterback in that division.
Right.
Cowboys aren't better than the Eagles and the Commanders, man. They're not.
Yeah, but Dak Prescott right now is a much better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers.
Of course, 1,000%.
Dak Prescott has not had a better career than Aaron Rodgers. I want everyone to take a deep breath and listen to what I just said. But right now, I mean, or don't, whatever, I don't care. That's fine. Everyone thinks I don't like Dak either.
Yeah.
Dak is better right now.
Yeah.
The Cowboys roster is better right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so.
100%.
Yeah, I would say so.
100%. So vibes or not, I don't know what kind of vibes we're cooking here, but that's not an option that makes the Giants competitive.
But they need a quarterback. They need
a quarterback.
Right.
Yeah, they just need a guy.
Just get one in the draft.
They may do that too, but they need a quarterback, and coaches want to try and win
right now.
No,
regardless of what we think. This ain't like the NBA where they want to tank.
You know what's wrong with some of these teams? They look for right now fixes. Where sometimes you got to look for the long.
But they don't have in the National Football League.
You got to look
at the National Football League.
3 years. Yeah, that's good.
If you ain't done nothing, he done already been there. So if you ain't done nothing in 3 years, and you ain't given us no hope in 3 years, the front office will be changed.
But
there's not gonna be a resignation. They're gonna fire you the day after this. They're gonna fire you on Black Monday.
And that's why he's considering it, because if he has another down year,
exactly. He's not trying to go out backwards.
I'm talking about the Giants.
He's just not. The Coach Daboll is sitting there going, And Joe Shane, the general manager, going, man, we got to do something.
Right now.
We got to do something right now.
Right now.
And there's not a lot of
that sounds like
panic. Now that I think about it,
that sounds like panic.
These headlines write themselves. I mean, can you imagine the Jets let Aaron Rodgers go and the Giants pick him up?
Yeah, that's happened before with the Jets and the Giants. They swap players many times.
Players or quarterbacks? Like this.
Only other quarterback I can think of is Geno Smith.
The Jets just signed. This is Aaron Rodgers.
No, I'm saying that's the only one I can think of.
He's not good enough for the Jets, and the Giants want him.
And it's not just what he did on the field. It's all the hoopla that came with him coming to the Jets. Now, how do we reprint all of that in the same paper talking about he's coming to the Giants? You see what I mean?
With optimism.
So with optimism. So that exactly.
Because if I don't do anything to get me a quarterback, I'm going to get.
And we're talking about it from two different perspectives. I'm talking about from coach's perspective. I'm with you. We got to get something.
I got to do something. It's a what they call a Hail Mary. That's what it is. I'm just going to throw it up and then hopefully something magical comes out of it.
That's a tease for a new segment we got coming up later on.
Yes, good job, Michael.
See how he dropped that in there. First down, touchdown, or Hail Mary. We'll explain to y'all later on.
I'm looking at a no-win situation right here for the Giants.
They pick third in the draft, so depending on how things shake out with the Browns and Tennessee, obviously we're assuming that the two of them are going to take the top two quarterbacks
Russell Wilson is going to visit Cleveland as well.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You got to find.
Cleveland still has some money to pay out, so maybe they aren't necessarily in the quarterback market.
Cleveland
they got Deshaun. That's it. Probably under. Oh, and they traded for. My man for
They told the doc.
Philadelphia that was in Pittsburgh.
Kenny Pickett.
Kenny Pickett. They
So
traded
the Giants aren't the only option for Rodgers, though. The Vikings are reportedly intrigued by Rodgers, and his former teammate Brett Favre seems to think that Minnesota would be a good destination. Well, it is the offseason, so...
Okay. That make more sense. Truthfully. That make more sense.
It makes more sense until I break it down to you. Then you're gonna be
They just won 14 games with Sam Darnold. Bring in Rodgers. He might could get you somewhere. He might could get you to the playoffs still. Keep you in contention.
And that may be true.
So that's
Paul.
better for a guy of his stature. That I would rather him go out like that in the playoffs one more time. Give it one more go. Like it makes the most sense.
But
if
do the
Vikings say, all right, we're going to give McCarty one more year to just kind of watch under a Hall of Famer, a four-time MVP champion, one more year to kind of learn from him. That makes the most sense.
Yeah,
actually.
J.J. McCarthy could sit one more year under Aaron Rodgers, and then you got to make a decision on J.J. McCarthy.
The decision's made.
Make a decision on him at some point, 'cause that's 2 years that's gone.
Yeah, he's going to be starting next year. This is just one more year under the...
So you're going to start him in his third year.
Yeah.
And then if he doesn't pan out in his third year, you're going to be looking for a quarterback in his fourth year.
No, you got to let him... He only get 1 year to develop?
Well, what happens though, Paul, is he's on a 5-year deal.
Right.
And you got to figure him out because the money, now extensions and all that sort of stuff. Now, here's the problem, though, Joy. Here's why it's funny to me.
Okay.
Go ahead, man. Go.
I don't want to steal your thunder, but what teams did Brett Favre play for?
You're going to steal my thunder.
Okay.
No, I was going to tell you why it don't make any sense. Here's why it don't make any sense. Ironically, it's the same path for the most part.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
From Green Bay, where you sat behind me, to New York, to Minnesota. So what Favre is telling, hey, man, go to Minnesota.
1 year.
1 year, and I went
Aaron Rodgers only played 1 year.
And I went to the NFC Championship game in Minnesota.
Yeah.
So if your ass don't go to the NFC Championship game in Minnesota, think about that trick that he set him up. Oh, you should go. You should go. And if he don't take it to the NFC Championship game, could you imagine? Because think about Aaron Rodgers had to follow in those shadows of Brett Favre forever in Green Bay till he finally erased it when he won the championship. But even still, it was still Brett Favre. He did the same thing. He forced his way out like Favre did. He goes to the Jets. It didn't work out so well. He goes to Minnesota, goes to the NFC Championship game. He comes up short.
That can happen.
What if Rodgers comes up short and goes to a wild card game and that's it?
I'd rather go there and come up short than go to the Giants and get ridiculed and talk bad about.
I don't know if I can follow. I don't know if I can follow Favre again.
Go there. At least I'm gonna have a chance to win over here. Who cares if the career path is the same?
I'm gonna need a different path.
Yeah, me too. I'm gonna need a different path.
To hit the remix a little bit. I can't go from sitting behind Brett Favre at Green Bay, then forcing my way out of Green Bay to the Jets, and then going to Minnesota. I need to do something different if I'm
Because even for the Jets, Brett Favre thing, Michael, as you remember, his thing wasn't smooth. It wasn't smooth at the Jets at all. It was it had a lot of turbulence going on. I didn't get into all that, but it was turbulence.
Also, I mean, J.J. McCarthy is going to be the starter. So what's he going there for? He's going to be the backup?
Right, but that's the issue. Aaron Rodgers, first of all, does he want to be in that situation where he knows he has that young guy right behind him? In any of those any bad game that you have,
be calling for it.
We're talking about let's get the young kid in. Let's get him in. What are we doing here? We already voted. We already. So for me, Brett Favre's right. The talent they have there and the opportunity, he's right about that in Minnesota. But he's not right that's right for Aaron Rodgers.
Well, what's the right fit for him? What is there?
I mean, there is always retirement.
Yeah.
That's an option.
But obviously...
But the best place for him to go would be Pittsburgh. That is the best option on the table.
Pittsburgh, to me, is not a fit because of the system they run.
I don't agree that it's a fit, and I'm low-key hoping this is going to go through. But if they're going to move on from Russell Wilson, they need a quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is an option. It's not the best fit, but Pittsburgh is a team that's not going to have a losing season. They have a culture. They have a locker room that's not going to let him go in there and do all that nonsense that went on with New York. It's likely his last year in the league. So if they're in a bridge situation, that is an option for him.
But
the Giants, to me, are not an option because of all of the things that we just talked about. And the Vikings, he's essentially copying Brett Favre's career.
I see this as a need.
Also, why wouldn't they just keep Sam Darnold anyway?
Yeah, I see this as a need pairing, though. Now, there's a lot of talk about Mike Tomlin and yeah, not losing any games, but really not winning any playoff games also. And he hasn't had a quarterback. And it's going up against some very good quarterbacks in the AFC. So now, Pittsburgh, you need to change some things on your offense. I don't disagree with Paul. He doesn't fit Aaron Rodgers into the Pittsburgh system, but he can help mature that system. I'll just use that word. Mature the system a little bit. And that's why I want him over there as opposed to Russell. But they got to change. You can't continue to do this with those quarterbacks.
Tomlin's been there.
Right. But they have to do something on offense. They put about 22 points a game last year with Russell. Can this man get them to 25, 27 points a game? Another 5 points. Because the top teams, 30 by Buffalo, 30, I think, by Lamar, the Ravens, 27. That puts you back up there and an opportunity to win in the playoffs. 22 points won't give you that.
Key, where do you want to see him go?
Pittsburgh. Go to Pittsburgh. That's all. You got 2 bookend receivers.
Right.
Get, as I said the other day, solidify a little more explosive running game. Get more creative with the formations. Don't just line up in the 2 tight ends.
Right. It'll help them do this. This is what I'm saying. Bringing Aaron Rodgers in will help with that more creative run game, bringing in some of the inside help with those big guys outside. That's what they need. They can move their offense.
Because the quick game, let me tell you something about Aaron Rodgers.
And let him play that quick game.
The quick game is going to work for him with these receivers. That's 3-step drops, 5-step drops, hitch, get the ball out fast, slants, quick outs, things that curl routes, things that he has been doing his entire career.
And it's a pre-read. And he's a pre-read. So that means I'm already knowing where the ball's going before we snap the ball. He has that ability, shoulders up. Now, the problem comes when all these post reads come in and he can't move the same way. So that's what Key's talking about. The quick game in Pittsburgh with him, they need this.
And if Arthur Smith is worth the price of admission as an offensive coordinator, he will then go around this offseason and study the passing game the way it needs to be for Aaron Rodgers. Meaning, like, he would go and get with Sean McVay, or he would go and get with somebody that understands the West Coast system, and he would start to implement that into Pittsburgh's offense to be able to do those things.
This guy understands it.
No, he does, but, coach ain't going to let him. The coach want to do it on his own.
And we have been saying, don't let Aaron Rodgers come in and control things. And I'm still on that bandwagon. But I want Coach Smith to get with him and say, Aaron, what do you like that we can put in this offense and modernize?
Well, I mean, it's pretty obvious at this point, if Aaron Rodgers is not on the same page with his coaches, he is not going to be anywhere close to his best self. Head, shoulders up or shoulders down. He doesn't operate that way.
Whether it was Mike McCarthy,
he needs to have his guy. He's all about vibes, and he's got to be on the same page. So if he ends up there and they're going to have any success, Arthur Smith is going to have to collaborate with him, a.k.a. do what makes Aaron comfortable. And in some ways, maybe they should do that. Pittsburgh hasn't really had an offense since Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown, and Ben Roethlisberger. That has been a while. So I'm with you. It would be cool to see that again paired with the defense that they have and the coaching and culture that Mike Tomlin has. I just don't know, shoulders up or shoulders down, what I'm going to get from Aaron Rodgers.
That's what I'm saying. Listen, between Mike Tomlin...
I know his chakras are aligned, but
between Mike Tomlin...
Where are we putting that?
His hard, stern attitude. Aaron Rodgers... Look at what we're talking about, these attitudes and these alphas in the room. Pickens, let's put this all in a pot. Pickens, let's put some DK, let's put some Aaron Rodgers and Tomlin. What are we going to stir this up and call this?
It's going to be spicy.
It's going to be too spicy.
Dude, it is.
Too spicy. But let me throw Justin Jefferson, Rodgers, and Addison in. Ooh, that might be a little bit better.
I just happened to look up and saw the video. I'm like, oh,
That's
my
what
God.
I'm saying.
He grabbed a dude by the face mask.
That's why I don't want all this. That's too much. That's too much.
You're kind of pitching me on it now.
You know what I'm saying? Think about all that's too spicy.
He all right. He's okay, man.
I don't have to deal with all. That's too much to deal with.
He'll be fine. He's just a young
Rodgers, Pickens, DK.
No, but DK,
Tomlin.
DK ain't got no issues like that.
Man, come on, man. He ain't getting the
aggressive.
ball. He wanted out of Seattle.
He not dealing. He wanted out of Seattle because they wouldn't pay him his money.
Exactly. But think
for
about
1 year,
it's not smooth at all.
1 year, at this point, things are getting a little spicy with Tomlin having winning seasons, but not getting over the hump.
Right.
The expectations are starting to mount.
It's a relationship built out of need. Each of these guys, everybody need each other here. Mike Tomlin needs this kind of a quarterback. Aaron Rodgers needs that kind of team.
Bottle of Pepto.
That's what I'm saying.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.